first off, I know we didn't talk about the Denzel Curry album. And, our line's been blowing up to cover that project. Do you want to start there? Or do you want to start with Dreamville's Gangsta Grill?
So we're going straight into review mode. I wonder, I didn't know if we were going to go like start off with the smaller stuff, or so we just jumping right in. Okay.
Well, we can jump right in. You know what? We'll start smaller. Let's go with a single because you just heard the Freddie Gibbs and Rick Ross song. Name of the record is Ice Cream. I got the art up here. Gibbs and Ross get together and they take on, I don't want to say they do like an interpolation, I guess you would say, of Raekwon's Ice Cream.
Yes.
What you think about it, Coop?
I think it's a solid record. It's a good record. I was trying to immediately, when I was listening to it, I was like, where would I place this in relationship? First of all, this has nothing on Scotty B.
Yeah.
It's got nothing on Scotty B. So it's not to that level. But it's something that is like Alfredo worthy, potentially. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the quality of the record. Because I was thinking like, oh, well, I probably enjoyed this more than I enjoyed something to rap about. You know what I'm saying? There's some of the other records on Alfredo that I still enjoyed and thought was dope. So it's a dope record. It's not even better than Black Illuminati, though. So my question is now is that what is, Gibbs doing? Is he checking the pulse?
I think this might have been a heat check. I think it's a cool record. I really like where Gibbs is going with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's spitting. He's doing his thing. AK's and Curtin says Lupe's new song is dope. See, we missed that too. It's just so much new music.
Writing it down.
Yeah. Write that down. Yeah. I like where Freddie Gibbs is taking it. I think he's spitting and he's been super consistent in everything that he's doing. One of the subjects that we have to cover today, we got to talk about MF Doom because we're getting a lot of backlash on, the rating system as it pertains to MF Doom. We're going to go back into that rating, so we're going to break everything down for the people who just got in the room. We're going to talk about Doom. I do want to talk about that collaboration side of it because Doom did a lot of collaborative albums. So I think those things might need to be factored in. But since we missed out on Curry a couple of weeks back, let's talk about his album.
Good. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, because it's not like it just came out. Melt My Eyes is what it's called. See Your Future. Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. What were your thoughts on this album? I know you said you had a whole lot of notes.
I am. I'm taking some notes right now on a subsidiary subject I'm going to bring up.
Okay.
About the album in a second. But my initial thoughts is that this guy is really, really talented, Mike.
He is. He's one of those artists that I think we're seeing grow right in front of our eyes because he was a part of that freshman cover a couple of years back. Wasn't he on the freshman cover with 21, Kodak Black, Lil Yachty, and Dave East and all those guys? I think he was on that cover, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat.
I mean, you follow that better than I do. Kind of. I think it's kind of because you have to, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not certain of that. But I'm certain that I heard a guy who was super impressive. And you want to know what I thought of? I thought of Deontay Hitchcock a little bit today too, because this crop of MCs that's like starting to come out. They're so well rounded, so early, and do so many things so well. It's like. My biggest critique probably about him is like, well, what's your real voice? Like, is this your voice? Is this the guy we're getting from now on? So I guess that would be my biggest thing with him. Because if this is who we're getting from now on, I like this guy a lot. And he's really, really nice on the mic. And he's got good subject matter, delivery, skill level, works well with others. I don't have like any detractions or anything poor to say about it except for how identifiable and defined is it.
Do you think it is in the album of the year runnings in the moment? And I do like the Dante Hitchcock comparison, by the way.
You do like that. Somebody who's like, I think he's a little bit more lyrically gifted than Deontay, maybe. But I think like conceptually and versatility-wise, they're both really impressive to me. I was writing somewhere. I'm always writing.
No, man. The versatility is crazy. What is y'all favorite song on the album? I got that track list on the screen right now. I know
Okay,
me.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Here's what here's what I was about to say. So, do you think it's better than Saba's A Few Good Things?
Hmm.
Because I don't.
I don't.
Okay, so that takes it out because I would put Saba's album right next to the Currency, the Conway, and the Benny.
I think the thing is, like you said, his skill level. I mean, you could tell he's developing and all that, but I think that his skill level's not there to a point where a Conway, Benny, Currency. It's just like he's still kind of finding his voice a little bit. And I'll say that respectfully. And see the thing is, like with this era of MCs, they don't really get that time to kind of bubble and work at their craft. It's like they come right out the gate. And then they're kind of learning on the job, and we're hearing them learning on the job. It's not the days where Nas gets signed or gets put on records in 91 and doesn't really release the album until 94. You know what I'm saying? In today's time, we would have heard an album from Nas like the year he started rapping professionally.
Right. We would have heard him in January and they've been like, okay, so we need this album in, I don't know, July?
Yeah.
July 5th? July 5th? It's time. It's time. It's time. It's
And
time.
honestly, man, and I think a better example, we talk about Ready to Die and how that was recorded in phases. So if Biggie was around in this time, we probably would have heard an album full of stuff that sounded like Gimme the Loot. The stuff that sounded like the earlier Biggie stuff that's on Ready to Die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Machine Gun Funk and Give Me the Loot.
Mm-hmm.
An Everyday Struggle.
So yeah, I mean, we got to give artists their time to, develop. Nobody hits it out the park out the gate, but I could see this person continuously developing, even with the previous effort that he put out. And yeah, I'm impressed.
No, I'm impressed too. So I don't think album of the year yet. So I'm gonna I'm gonna quibble with some things about the Denzel Curry album too, and I want to be respectful. Who produced this album?
There's a lot of producers on here. I actually have it on the screen here.
Yeah.
Robert Glasper did the intro.
Love that. He's dope, and I like Robert Glasper too. I think he did some work with Alex Isley, Ronald Isley's daughter.
It's a bunch of producers on here, man. Like every song is produced by a different person. Like you got Thundercats here, you got Car Got Wings, you got the Genius and Nas. It's a lot of people. And you know what? And I love that because it doesn't really sound like that. It sounds like more of a cohesive effort. Doesn't sound like a bunch of different producers.
It does. So here's what I'll tell you about him. And I'm going to go to somebody. So we're going to go high up on the totem pole with what I'm trying to express about what I didn't enjoy about this album. Sometimes, especially when it comes to an MC coming out properly, and not to say the production is not good, but if the production is not where the MC's growth is, you're going to have some issues with how dope the project sounds when comparing it to album of the year type of stuff. And so what I want to say is that I thought the production here was good, but it wasn't as good as he was.
Hudson says, as far as creativity and substance, Denzel's better than Benny.
Yes, I would agree with you on that. But listen to what I'm saying. So that's kind of the point that I'm making. Because of the way that he's running the gamut and how talented he is, the production needs to reflect it, and I feel like the production is a step below him. But he's on a high level to me. And that's what I mean. The only issue that I really have with him is like, well, is this who you are and how identifiable and defined is it to separate yourself so that we hear your greatness? Because what I really hear in this album, and I know he's been around longer, but I hear shades of like Section 80. In terms of what I hear that he's capable of. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you hear, it's not Section 80 by any means.
No.
But I'm talking about when you hear Section 80, you heard what he was capable of. You know what I'm saying? And it excited you. And you're like, ooh. You know what I mean?
Well, he's another symbol for me that he's from South Florida, right? Denzel Curry is from South Florida. And it's like you don't, man, he has like kind of that big critish type of influence, rather, that southern influence that is like, look, I'm gonna give you some bars, that never used to really stretch down to South Florida in that way. I think Florida's a whole different thing. Like, I don't even really count Florida. I mean, obviously Florida's the South, but we never talk about Florida when we talk about the South for the most part, because Florida's just such a whole different thing, especially
Well,
South Florida.
okay, so here's what I'm trying to say too. I don't know. Okay, so do you remember the Roots' first two albums,
Yeah.
Organics and Do You Want More?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for me, the problems with those albums isn't the MCs; it's that the production is not where the MCs are. When the production starts to catch up to the MCs, what you have is when Philadelphia Half-Life, when things fall apart, phrenology. You get what I'm saying?
You remember what Questlove said that the label was telling them during that period? Because that was more of the live drums, right? And
Wait,
so
hold on, where are you at? When you're saying the label was telling them, are we talking organics?
sonically, because you were talking about production, right? We're talking about organics, and we're talking about second.
Do
You
you,
know,
do you want more?
do you want
Yeah.
more? Yeah. So that was more live drums on there, right? And so
Correct.
the label told them, like, look, this is, for DJs, it's tough to actually mix you guys' records in with other hip hop records that are using like synthetic type of drum patterns. Not really synthetic drum patterns, but loops. That's the word I'm looking for. And so from then on, their production style became, okay, we're going to get some live drums and actually, sample them and loop them.
Correct.
Yeah.
But in the label is saying something with that, but I'm saying the same thing. I'm just saying it on a different spectrum. What I'm saying is when that happened, that brought the MC that thought was more to the forefront.
No.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got to be honest, man. I think over the years, and you probably were way ahead of me on this, I think I've always underrated Black Thought because of the style that the Roots chose.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Black Thought would have been rapping over some of the other more flashy production that some of his peers had the ability to rhyme on, or the opportunity rather to rhyme on, I may have viewed him different. If he would have been able to rhyme over the 6th Sense or get beats like that and get these premiere tracks like some of his other contemporaries did, I probably would have viewed him different growing up. But I feel like as much as the Roots benefited him as a collective, I think as an individual MC, how we look at him overall in the spectrum of other MCs in the top whatever, it kind of hurt him.
How about this? How about this? In 1996, when I heard him on Philadelphia Half-Life, I was like, okay, so we got Nas, we got Big, we got Pop, we got Redman. You can't count Wu-Tang Clan. We got Andre, we got Lauryn Hill, and then this guy. Like this,
Nick, I didn't even rate him back then. I didn't, man.
I've been rating him like top 5, 10-ish type of MC since Philadelphia. Specifically, when I heard What They Do in the B-side to it, Concerto of the Desperado. So let's go.
And I love both of those songs, but I always put him in like the AZ chamber. You know what I mean? And I was wrong.
Man, in the glow of the moon under the melancholy metro, that's Rakim.
Nah, he's super nice, man. And when I heard him on, shout out to my guy Squeeze out there in Birmingham. He played me this mixtape that Black Thought did. I think it was like with Petey Cracker, some folks from Philly or whatever, and I got an opportunity to hear him rhyme over like some beats that other rappers. I was like, yo, man, I'm sleeping on Black Thought, because it's like you kind of put him in the same vein as you do the group, and it's almost on some jazz hip hop type stuff. And I've always thought he was dope, but I think it might have been the Talib record that made me start to think otherwise. Gorilla Monsoon. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh yeah. But see, we needed more of that. I really wish, even with that wave where Kanye was kind of bridging that gap between the underground and the mainstream, I wish we could have heard Black Thought on some of those Kanye records too.
No, it's there. They feed him a couple of those on every album, like Concerto of the Desperado, Rock You Off Phrenology, 100% Dundee, off Things Fall Apart. Like, they'll give him those beats for him to just spaz on like that every now and then, like on some rap shit. We just didn't hear as much of it. But that's why I was telling you, Mike, like you put him on some rap shit live, Like, and he has a lot of rap shit with them. It's like, oh no, he's gonna take somebody's classic records from them because they're not the performer that he is live, the lyricist that he is ever been, and he's a problem. And he would have been more of a problem had he had like some primo Pete Rock. Like, yeah.
You know what? He's an underrated. It's not graded. He's an underrated performer as well. And I'm looking forward to us actually rating him on this MC rating system, man. Like, I think Black Thought's gonna do very well. His longevity is high. I think that his skill level is off the charts. And the fact that he's been here this long and it feels like he's getting better and better, that puts him in rare air. Super lyrical with Big Pun, yes. It's another one.
Yeah. New ways of ripping shit up. I develop. Your squad in your chest swell up. Yeah, I remember that. He's been everywhere. Okay, so this is the point that I was trying to make in relationship to Denzel Curry, though.
Uh-huh.
You see, and his talents and his gifts tend to shine more when the production shines more. And then I get into another example of it that I want you to listen to because I felt like there was some of this happening in inverse. In 1997, when Rakim dropped the 18th Letter, there's lyrically nothing wrong with that album, but that production is not what it should be. And even though the list of producers, like you say, is there, like it says Pete Rock, DJ Premier, Clark Kent. So you're like, oh yeah, DJ Premier, Clark Kent, Pete Rock on a Rakim album, we're good. No, you're not. Because really, if you look at what Clark Kent and Primo gave Rakim, he didn't get their best. And that's how I felt about the production on this album. It's like when you gave somebody that, and he's not Rakim, just like he's not Thought, but you really didn't give him your best. I don't know if these producers gave Denzel Curry these best because of who he is. Because I want you to listen to some of the Clark Kick joints that are getting made around the time that he gave Rakim Guess Who's Back, Stay a While, and Remember That. You remember those records, Mike?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Listen to the records that he was doing around that time. Sky's the Limit, Get Money, Players Anthem, Realms of Junior Mafia, Crack Attack off of Fat Joe's album. Yeah. Like, listen to those beats and tell me that Guess Who's Back, Stay a While, and Remember That's fucking with that.
I believe that those are probably the ones that Rakim chose too. You know what I mean? It's not really on the producer in that way. Hold on real quick. Let me get to this super chat because I want to add this to the show. Adriel Green says, dopest hip hop podcast on YouTube. Appreciate the love. Said, are y'all gonna revisit that volume 2 versus I Am track for track comparison? Yeah, we can do that today. We got a little bit of time. Why not? It's Friday. You down to do that? Volume 2 versus I Am. How many songs are on I Am, y'all?
16.
16. Volume 2 has to be
14.
It's 14? Mm-hmm. Ain't no bonuses or nothing?
I think that's including the bonuses.
Man, volume 2 is short.
Yeah.
Hold on. So
I think It's All Right makes it 14.
How are we gonna do this then?
I mean, God, if we could just get rid of if we can just take the Timberland track off and like Dr. Not Boot off, that would be for Nas fans. We could just take You Won't See Me Tonight and Dr. Not Boot off and act like it never happened. If we could just act like it never happened.
All right, you know what? This is what we'll do.
It's traumatic.
We'll give for 2 extra songs. We'll give Nas a bonus, so he already got 1 win, right? And then we'll see how Volume 2 matches up against the other songs.
I mean, here's what I was about to say. If you were to go straight through, you would miss one of the probably 5 or 6 strongest records on I Am, because Undying Love is probably the 5th or 6th best song on there at worst. And for some reason, and I'm not a big fan of Money Is My Bitch, but people like Money Is My Bitch for some reason, even though it's not good. And shame on people who think that.
Yeah.
That's a mid. That's what that is.
All right, but yeah, the Denzel Curry was dope, and you know what I'm saying? I think that this guy's going to be here, and I'm looking forward to the more music that he's putting out, but I agree with you. I think that he needs to get with some like-minded producers and get some consistency on, you know, the individuals making the project as a whole, because creatively, I think it would benefit him if he were to get 1 or 2, maybe 3 at most producers, as opposed to having a producer on each song.